Well, hello, everybody. We're back, and it's just going to be a short response stream, of course. As most of you have seen, the video that went up earlier today about yesterday's little Twitter situation has happened. We have a couple people here with us today, but we're just going to go right into this.
And yes, as for people who are going to be questioning if I'm going to be using my real voice, I can do both. It doesn't matter. So certain people can't say I don't ever use my real voice. I very much use my real voice. Of course, if you knew that, the history of the channel, most people would already know this, but I digress. So we're gonna get into it
Let's do it
really quickly and see what we get. Champ, you got anything to say about this?
This little fuck boy needs to quit being a cuckold. I'm sorry.
It's interesting.
I can get pussy and this man can't.
I do love the fact that he brought up the last situation that happened with Paul, which has nothing to do with this conversation. So, mind you, I'm not going to be responding to the whole Paul thing because that situation's done and over. We already had that discussion. Also, as far as Brodan goes,
as far as it goes with you, Brodan, I completely offered for you to come on my show. I even told Paul and said it in the chat that night. You were free to come in and come on my show the very next day. You didn't show. So at the end of the day, it happened the way it happened.
And I have no problem talking to you in any form that you want. But I think after this and getting it kind of out of the way, I think I've pretty much said all I need to say about this. But I think you're going to probably, say what you typically do and kind of dodge the whole thing, which I think is ridiculous. But I digress. There's plenty to just get over the way in just a couple minutes. But I'm sure you'll be on the stream for like 2 hours tomorrow. We're not going to do that. We're not going to play that. But if you're here and you want to talk, by all means, talk. I just don't think you're going to say anything new. I think it's going to be the same old thing.
There's literally nothing left to lose. After all the shit you've been exposed for and, talking about all the shit you have before on other streams and making, like, a stream per day for, like, 5 hours. Talking people's just reacting to people's videos for 5 hours that don't even have anything to do with you, but you think in your mind they do because you're that mentally ill. I think you've lose all credibility already, so you might as well. You have nothing left to lose.
You're already doubling down, man. You're doubling down.
You're already talking about, like beheading people and stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say with your other responses that I've seen in your streams and being really, you're already ignorant anyway. But then to just go in and to talk about stuff in an insulting manner, but not have anything to back up your words is quite funny. And then you have the gall to be arrogant in here and say that when people are providing you with evidence that you're not going to believe it because it's on Wiki. Give me a fucking break.
Sorry, that was the funniest thing ever, though, he did when he tried making that roast stream on you. A guy with, like, 50 subscribers on his channel. He has like 3 active viewers max who watches his videos. Then was like, let's see how few subscribers this guy has in comparison to me. Searches up your channel live. He's like, oh shit. And then him not realizing you actually work for DC was hilarious.
Well, that's the funny thing is I literally just sat back. I was like, I'm not even going to like defend me on when it comes to my work or what I do. And then all of a sudden, you guys were talking about like, oh no, he's a voice actor. You're being an idiot about this, Brodan. And it kind of backfired on him. I thought that was kind of funny. It's, it's all.
Oh yeah. I joined
poetry
this
into that
earlier. This was hilarious. I was like watching, that lighted dodgeball, like a retard trying to hump a doorknob.
I am that retard here, and yet this guy's making me look even better.
Dude, this is coming from a resident retard, mind you.
The champ himself is a retarded, and he's admitting that by comparison, you do some really retarded things compared to him.
Yeah, I don't like insulting people for their personal looks. That's never a good thing. But when you do it to other people first, and say the things you did. Then, I'm just saying, maybe you shouldn't then, look like the equivalent of, like, if Joey's World Tour had AIDS and then raped a female and then she gave birth and then that's what came out of you.
Uh-oh, Sean said the R word on my stream. I guess I won't be monetized. Oh, wait, I'm not. Who cares? Oh, that's another thing that came up. I'll briefly mention that. People were saying stuff about the fact... what's up, James? Saying stuff that, in regards to me and that I'm only doing this drama for money and for clicks, when I've said it many times, I don't make money off of this. This is not my full-time job. I do this just for fun, and I do it to hold people accountable. And it's even more fun to do that as the Joker, because the Joker has, of all the people that you can and the characters you can do that with, him calling out the double hypocrisy from both sides is very much what he would be doing right down the middle. And it makes it for some good humor and stuff, and have fun guests on, and I get to, exercise my voice acting muscles all the time. It's just plain fun. But as you can see here, according to Brodan, doing the voice acting thing, he'll just deflect from that. So as we have in the comment here, dude, why do you keep instigating this shit? Do you have that week of an existence to put your big boy voice on and talk? I thought you were a voice actor, right? But fine. Last, I'll waste my time on this. No, it won't be, Brodan, because what you'll do is you'll get offended by this. You claim that you're fine with this, and this makes you laugh, and you're not irritated by it, but you'll go and make multiple streams about it. I made a comment, a video, a response video off of something new that you did. This has nothing to do with the Paul situation. You then made it about the Paul situation because you can't argue against this. You still have yet to argue about this right here. But really, you think crackers is racial. Okay, bro. And I said, I just presented to you as to why cracker racial slur. And so we'll get into this, and I'll play part of it because most of you already seen it.
Yeah, this guy's fucking retarded. I'm sorry.
In this fucking thing right now, all your black cards are fucking revoked, null voided. Get out of here. We're gonna give you back to somebody.
Wait, guys, isn't Mikey white?
Yes, Mikey's white.
Mikey's son right now is just purchasing. Why is it Cracker trying to speak for my race? Shut up, Cracker. No, he's not. What? Don't say racial slurs now. Come on. Cracker's not a racial slur.
Yeah. So, as I state in that question,
as I'll do in voice just to irritate you, then why on earth, if it's not a racial slur, did you wait to find out that Mikey was white before saying said slur? You know you meant it as an insult in the first place, or you wouldn't have said it after you found out his race. So fuck you, you're completely wrong, buddy.
And I think that's hilarious that I even have to explain that. I mean, it's literally in the video. Now, I know he said he's going to respond on this on Friday. I think that's funny. There's nothing really to respond to. You need to come out. I've literally given you multiple examples.
Just do us all a
cracker
favor.
Is a racial... Okay, James says cracker is a racial slur as the N-word, which is the worst. Yes. Well, and this is the thing I have a problem with in America, which is the double standard when it comes to what racial slurs worse, right? And yes, you got N-word and you got the S-word when it comes to Mexicans and all these other things, right? And really, at the end of the day, if you say you're against racial slurs and you're also saying other racial slurs, but you're against all these other ones, I mean, it makes you look hypocritical, because if you're really against the whole racial thing and you don't want to bring up race, but then you bring up race in your streams all the time, or worse, you say certain slurs to insult other people, it makes you look, ignorant at the end of the day. I think defending cracker is super ignorant, because you don't know the source of it. And I provided sources here as to exactly the origin of the word. And the origin of the word is not really a good thing. But it's also no different than what black people had to go through when they had to, when they would use their own words, use their own words amongst themselves. They also did the same later on in history, but we'll see here.
It's like somebody must have dropped out of school.
And you can pause this yourself. I don't have to pause this, guys. It's literally to the beat of of this hilarious song. Cracker, sometimes white cracker or cracka is also a racial epithet. We've talked about this before. And then we've gone, I've done this many times on my stream, brought up what the racial epithet of things mean, and that there's a double standard that I see many times. Right. And right.
Yeah, because it's not like every site has the same info as well, and it's not like, you at least have some info versus him who has none ever.
No, according to him, using Wiki is he doesn't buy it and he doesn't believe it, and it's not a good enough argument for my case because
believing the voices in his head is better.
Do I need to pull out the Webster's
That's
dictionary?
the stronger argument, right?
Do I need to pull out the Pocket Webster's dictionary?
No. Oh, the S word? No, it's an S word for Hispanic people.
I know.
WZ. That's what I was talking about, WZ. But no, I mean, for some reason, simp is considered a bad word now. James says no. This is 2022. Racism should be gone by now. Extinct. Exactly. This is bull. Well, and here's the thing. It's like I don't even like. Here's my thing. You can make a joke about anything, and it can be racial jokes. I've been a big proponent about make a joke about whatever you want, make it funny, make it entertaining, whatever. I don't care. But my point is, it's not me basically saying that like I hate that they're saying this stuff. Like I have a personal problem with it. What I have a problem with is the fact that they are playing the mightier than thou approach of I'm a saint and I'm calling out racism, while meanwhile also not only supporting people who say stuff like this in their group chats, but in the case of Brodan, doubling down and saying that there's nothing wrong with saying the word cracker when he doesn't know the origin of it, when there very much is something bad about saying that word. I mean, if you look at the history of it, it's no different than the other words. Now, yes, you might freely use that because most white people on this planet don't have a problem with you using that word, as as other people had stated in chat. That might be the case, but I also know some some black people that don't mind you saying the N-word and think it's funny, but that doesn't mean it's the right thing to say or do. You know what I mean? So you've got to you can't pick and choose with this. You got to be equal on this approach. And like I said, racial right here is the origin. Mind you, this is like 1700s. This is before. This is the early stuff. But then when we get to what he's addressing, as we will, and we got Florida cracker and Georgia cracker, which is something they say amongst each other. Very typical. Here we go to the 1800s, 1850s. Right here, 19th century. And here's where the cracking the whip thing. And I feel like most people, when they defend cracker, they jump to this. Every time I hear kids use it all the time, where they're like, oh, it means cracking the whip. No, that is not what it only means solely. And that's not the origin of the word. That's what that became. But to say that the only meaning of that word came from the cracking the whip thing is ignorant. And it also misses the point that like the reason why people say these words, I think people have abused the fact that since most white people don't mind other people saying that word, now when you get angry black people or angry Hispanic people online, now they feel like they can use it freely because they've gotten the pass now. And so now they are putting some emphasis behind that word of hate and this hateful rhetoric that they hate this person. You can say you don't all you want, but as we just stated here, Brodan, you literally in the beginning of your video, waited to ask what Mikey's race was first before you said cracker. So it doesn't look good on your side. I mean, it really looks really stupid. But like, you already know that.
Hey, are you Black Joker? I just need to make sure first before I say something.
before I double down and say this horrible word I know nothing about.
Why does this guy type like a 5th grader? Holy shit.
No, dude. I mean, yeah, deciphering his stuff's quite funny. At least he spaced his stuff out for me.
I'm just saying, with what he looks like, he's exactly what I imagine what he looked like for somebody who like sounds like he has marbles in his mouth all the time. It's yes, like I'm actually dyslexic. Had like a speech impediment when I was younger, and sometimes say stuff like have said stuff in the past like the M word by accident that slipped down, and yet this guy makes me look good. That is hilarious.
Really?
How do you make me look good?
Yes,
yeah, that's pretty bad. Well, hey, like Champ said, he's like, I've got my own mental problems, but I'm not this bad. Hello, Andrea. Welcome to the stream.
And at least I don't hide
it. right. Welcome, James. Welcome, Andrea. What is cracker? Well, and as we said in the original definition of it, like that is meant to really, the definition of that is it's a derogatory term towards poor white rural people, like people that poor out in the middle of nowhere, bayou, whatever you may, you know, really, really poor hillbillies and so on. And it's used that way. It's been used that way since the beginning. But there's a lot of people, and I'll bring this up too, a lot of ignorant people that don't think white people can be poor too. And it's this assumption that it's all of these other ethnicities, Black, Hispanic, Asian, whatever. They're the ones that are the downtrodden, and those are the ones that are, they don't have a good life. But you're ignoring all of the other white kids that are also in poor neighborhoods and stuff. So you can't. I think that's funny when we bring up race. We only want to bring up the ones we want to highlight. But let's be honest, there are poor white kids as well, and to say otherwise is ignorant. Mr. J should watch. Watch Mike's stream sometime. When me and him got a funny ass win on the. Oh yeah. Are you good doing some Fortnite? Nice.
I'll
let you say what you want to say, Chant. While you...
I'm like, this guy is just making me look way too good. I mean, shit. Even Andrea's going to probably say something in chat, in which I know he is, because knowing Andrea, he's going to make fun of me. But at least I want to take this thunder away from him. Yeah, I'm retarded. Yes, I do say some stupid shit, but I'm not on Brodan's level of stupidity. Call me Brodan. Shut the fuck up.
This is like the climax of 8 Mile.
Grow a pair of balls.
Right. No,
come on the show.
I offered you, and that's another thing too. We had in the comments where Brodan claims that I never offered him, but I did offer you back when Paul was talking to you in the comment section. I offered for you to be on the show to discuss this, and the immediate response I got was, "I don't debate, I argue," which is the most retarded thing. It's like talking to a 12-year-old who's like angry at his father when his father's trying to get him to talk like a man, and that's his response.
So it's like, what does he explain his streams? And if that's
right, yeah, dude. I mean, that's the thing is you're so used to defending your arguments by yourself.
Yeah, in your echo chamber.
In your own echo chamber with your own people. But like when you were in that Twitter space, the other night, last night, if people came face to face with you on that stuff, I know what you would do. You would just call them names and insult their looks, and that would be about the extent of it. But you have no actual arguments against that. And I don't know how those people would respond back to you. But the point is, you really don't have actual debates with people, and you're also pretty quiet and pretty mousy when you're in with other people, which I find funny. And then you speak up and say stuff like this, and then you can't take the criticism. If you don't like the criticism, Brodan, why are you saying this stuff online? Just get over it. It doesn't matter to you, according to you.
Hang on. Brodan, you sound more and more like me. You're quiet. You like to be mousy. What the fuck? Are you trying to literally become me? Are you trying to literally steal
Please don't
my
become
life?
Champ, please, to be honest.
No. Are you trying to steal my life? Please, I dare you to bring your retarded ass on this very show, so I can start picking on you. So I can start doing the very same things you do to other people.
Well, that's the problem, though, James. Is like, it's the. I think there's like when it comes to the whole the racism doesn't exist. This is the thing is Brodan seems to think that he is like some kind of like middle ground, holier than thou, or maybe like from what I've seen is he likes to call people a leftist if he doesn't agree with them. He's called Paul a leftist, for crying out loud, and Paul is the most centered person. Like I'm very centered. Like
and if anything, he leans the other side. If anything, with some
Right, exactly. It's like, hey, if you don't like people's criticisms, that's one thing. But then if people disagree with you, just immediately call them a leftist. They must be a leftist because leftists hate me and I hate them. And that means no, you do realize people on the same political aisle as you, or people within what you call your political aisle, right? People could be in that same spot and still not agree with you, right, Brodan? Like they still don't like the way you handle things.
So predictable. I can already predict the type of shit he'll say. He'll be like, oh, you said this would be like 5 minutes. It's like 20 minutes now. Oh, I'm in your head, Joker. You're crying.
Right.
It's like,
yeah,
dude. If he ever tried to fucking make fun of me, like call me on how I
what's
look,
up, Marv?
I'm gonna be like, so what?
Look, one of the most sane people, that came out of that whole thing.
I mean, I'll be like, look, I don't care what I look like. I don't care how I look like. I don't care how
RJ's awesome.
Say about me.
I feel bad for RJ being like, and RJ's not involved in this in any way, mind you. I just think it's. Yeah, I just feel bad for him when he has to deal with it.
There are a couple apples in that group that are so like they're on the level of like Syl. It's insane.
It's like
right. I get you, James.
It's like. Bro, I know Brodan will come at me for how I look. I'm like, do I give a damn though?
Well, that's what would happen, champ, is if you were on camera right now, he would come at you for how you look, which is what we do with each other all the time as jokes, so it wouldn't really hurt us none.
Yeah, and especially with how he looks like.
Right.
Brodan?
That would be the extent of it, I think.
Right here, Brodan.
Oh, look who it is.
He's gonna go. Look at what I look like.
You said, I'm just going to get on now. Hey, you said you weren't going to be on most of that. Hey, what's up, Warren? How's it going?
I'm good.
I'm like,
no idea
I'm
what's
here.
going on.
I'm here.
I'm just addressing some drama again. I put a video up earlier today regarding Brodan.
It actually just like reminds me of the Bjork stalker. Holy fuck!
The Bjork stalker. Yeah.
I mean, I'm right here. So if Brodan wants to come out and just start making fun of me, go right ahead, bitch. But
remember when he was like, "Show your face, Joker," like you don't like so on so many.
Well, and it's funny too because he says specifically up here. It's all nonsensical crap that you just wrote, and it proves nothing about me. That you know nothing about me, which is kind of funny because Brodan, you don't know a thing about me, and you've done multiple streams about me so far, and you don't realize. I mean, you got a little embarrassed when you found out that I was a full-time voice actor because Paul had to tell you, and the studios that I work for and whatnot, as far as the condition of my channel. But and you didn't come on the show when I offered you initially the first time. But to say that, like, I know nothing about you is ironic because you don't know a thing about me and you still keep claiming that I hide behind a fictional character.
Listen, this is just for fun. This is just the theme of the show.
I'm talking right now in my regular voice. I get on camera all the time, plenty. I've been on the stream many, many times and other people's streams many, many times on camera. I've done edited videos that way, too. Sorry, Warren, go ahead.
I saw your OnlyFans preview.
Yeah.
Something to that.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say you guys are already seeing me half naked. I mean, oh my god, for crying out loud, I can't get any more stripped down than that.
Yeah, I like what I see. Yeah.
What, you mean this
not even gay, but hey,
this fucking fake ass ring.
Yeah.
WC. I'm not married. I just wear this because it's the only finger that I can actually wear a fucking ring on.
That's amazing.
No, he's married to himself and always will be.
That is amazing.
That is
wait, let me address what Marvel's saying. Wait, why are you guys mad at Brodan again? I thought everyone went their separate ways with No, I'm not mad at him. I addressed if you want to go see my video, you can. I played some of it here at the beginning, but I made a video today addressing what happened in the Twitter stream the other day.
It's irrelevant to any beef people had. It was just he saw something that he thought was that was just like incorrect. So he made a video about it. He does it all the time, just on anything he says is incorrect. Yeah. And then Brodan had a fucking spaz attack.
Yeah, he had a meltdown about it and commented on both of his accounts in my comment section for this video that we're looking at here. I did not.
He have holy shit.
It's nice that he spread it out because I know a lot of people who are pretty incompetent tend to not spread their shit out. So I'm glad I can actually read this.
He's like here, on like the 5th grade level right now.
So he's got his main channel, right? So if I respond to it, you get all this gobbledygook when you respond because he's got me blocked, which is funny. He's got me blocked, but yet he's so obsessed with checking out my channel to make sure, or he has somebody subscribed to me who is sending it to him, which I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, he is a cook.
Jaded's on here. What's up, Jaded? Don't know if you've been seeing what's been going on, but we've been like, I'm just addressing these comments from this video. I
just sent them the link without them knowing.
Without context. Oh, Jade's gonna be like, "What the hell's going on?"
Shit! Is
this
the same Jaded family?
Answer, yes, this is the Jaded family.
Oh shit!
Hold on, wait a minute. My reputation precedes me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have a sister?
Damn, I love it.
Maybe not.
So to answer your question, RJ, no, it has nothing to do with the Paul situation or any previous stuff. This is all new. This is me calling him out for claiming that Cracker does not have an origin of a racial slur, which he only then waited until he found out what Mikey's race was in that stream last night to call him a cracker. Then I found it pretty funny that he was doing this holier than thou approach, which was, calling somebody out for their racism while also being racist himself and doesn't know the origin of cracker. And then I had to make a video with Joker educating him on the origin of the word cracker and that it is a racial epithet and that it has been used as insults for poor rural white people, and that's its original origin, and then how the definition changed over the centuries, but it still has always been that, because immediately he doubled down and he said it's okay to say because the origin of the word is about people cracking the whip and it's just a joke now. And I was like, that's actually not true. That didn't happen until the 19th century. So I had to bring that. Now that I've provided that evidence in video form in a comedic way, he has said two things. All right. He has said two things so far. He has said,
wait, can I guess? Can I guess?
Go ahead.
Is it one? I am a stupid, retarded little cuck boy who cannot fucking get a girl. And is it number two? Is it?
No, he hasn't. Yeah, most of it's all at the end. But first of all, it's I hide behind a fictional character, never show my face, so therefore my argument is invalid, which is bullshit because I've been on camera many times, and which even Jaded's like, no. Jaded's like, what the hell?
So you can't call off Skywalker. That would be racist.
You might as well say your argument's invalid because your shirt's blue.
Right, exactly. Well, I would say this, Brodan, your argument for your entire thing is invalid because you have no defense against the claims that I made against you. You don't respond to these things. What you do is you get angry, and it's like a kid on a playground at a preschool. You yell at them and then call them names or insult their looks, but that's all you have. And then you say stuff like this. You deflect and say, no, it's because you're behind a fictional character. I don't take you seriously and I can't respond to you. And then you have the gall to say stuff like that, but then also say, because I showed the definitions on Wiki to you that anybody can change the definition anytime and you can't trust that because the definitions can be changed. I just want you to know, bitch, at the end of the day, if you look at this definition, no matter what, even the continuing definitions I found on there, you look it up on Google. It doesn't matter where you find it. It still means the same thing. It still has the same origin, and cracker still has the exact same base that it did. I showed you in that video. I gave you multiple examples, about 5 of them, and then made fun of you for it. That's the problem that you don't like. You don't like the fact that people are making you a joke, but really, I'm not doing it. You're making your own joke. Every time you talk online, you are the butt of the joke. This has nothing to do with other stuff. Like, Marvel Make says, make call-out videos on Skywalker the Jedi. That I saw that.
Racist, man, because he's black, right?
According to the logic of other people's, if I did that because I'm playing the whitest clown on the planet, that would be the ultimate racism.
Yeah, wait till somebody calls you homophobic, Joker.
Oh, dude, Jaded, I've been called homophobic so many times, and it's hilarious. It's like, you do realize I'm married to a man, right? It's like, I am hella gay. Like, what is wrong with you?
You did it just to get back at the community.
You did, right? You know what? Good cover, Joker. Good cover.
I knew that would come up. No,
It's like, this man's gay. He's like, literally, and yet he does not sound like a typical gay man.
Bro, listen, at the end of the day, I don't mind getting on camera with you. I have no problem with it. No skin off my nose, on camera, off camera, voice or fake voice. The point is, you have yet to argue the points I made against you. You're still ranting about how it's this big personal thing because it's this beef with Paul. It has nothing to do with Paul. This is an all new thing. Of course, you like, you'll say stuff like, oh, you're just mad because of your boyfriend, Paul, which he's still saying in the comments, by the way. Narcissistic BS, all this stuff. This is my favorite. You're going to love this one, guys. First of all, I literally was a part of a Marxist channel where all we did was debate and talk politics. Strike one. I covered debates between people like Destiny and Sneeko. I know, idiot. Okay, so mind you, this man is literally admitting that He covers debates. He doesn't go in those debates, number one. If you debated somebody like Destiny, you would have been roasted in the first 5 seconds for everything you say because you don't actually debate. You don't have strong points. I have never seen you properly debate a strong
himself
point.
on a StreamYard alone, just like how he writes it
Yes.
in class alone at the table.
Yes. Now, I can believe that you could debate Sneeko because Sneeko's really retarded and it probably wouldn't take much effort. But if you get outclassed by somebody like Sneeko, and I think you could, that's a problem. Joker is gay for Batman.
Does this guy have the amount of comments of it? Like, again, this guy has made like 5-hour-long videos every week or so for a while. I don't know if he does it anymore, but he did on people's like 20-minute videos reacting to it and saying like the same 5 buzzwords, thinking that it's about him when no one even knew he existed before he made the videos.
Boys,
well, I mean, I'm not.
Oh my god!
Hey, Warren. Thanks for coming in, man. I appreciate it, man.
Certain video game music is coming to me right now, and I think it's boom, ba-doo, ba-doo, boom, boom, boom.
Oh God, please don't sing.
He must have had a lot of free time in his mom's basement. Maybe that might be why he didn't come on to debate you, because he might be scared that his mom will like hear him yelling and then come down and spank him on camera.
Mom, I'm making a video.
Champ, will you please stop giving me the serial killer angle, please? I don't want to see your eyeball for like 5 minutes while doing this. Just to give Jaded some context, I'm going to play the video from the beginning because he probably hasn't seen my video, and it's really short. So I think he'll get a kick out of it. And then I'll just cap this off at the end and be like, just be done with it while I pull your comments up. Jaded can see it in all of its glory. They were calling somebody out, Jaded, just some context for being for using racial slurs in their stream against them. Calling them out for being racist. Now, mind you, I just want to let everybody know I have nothing against anybody else in this group. I was directing this towards Brodan. I don't care what other people were saying. I don't have any problems with anybody else. This is just a me and Brodan thing. So this has nothing to do with like, RJ. RJ's cool. Like everybody, Saggy. I love them all. So not that I'm sure Brodan will try to spin it into that, but it has nothing to do with anyone else. So only one question I care about that needs to get answered tonight is Jaded excited for She-Hulk finale? Yeah, Jaded, how do you feel about that?
Well, which episode was the wedding episode?
That's this recent one, right? Is that the most recent one?
Did
the wedding episode?
No, that's the last episode I've seen.
Okay.
And that was when I went, I don't give a shit about this show anymore.
Did anybody else
to be honest, I didn't give a shit about
WZ posted? I mean, shit, just attacking fucking MSK like that.
I basically ranted on the episode where they butchered the Wrecking Crew and
okay.
They butchered the Wrecking Crew and all everybody could talk about was the twerking part. And it was like
right. Exactly. RJ says no. The most recent one was the Daredevil episode.
No, I
fucking God,
I zero interest. See, here's the thing. My shtick is calling out the stupid in shows and movies everybody loves.
Right.
Well, if everybody knows that She-Hulk is a piece of shit, what good am I going to do?
Right. Yeah.
I got to make videos explaining to you guys how the Boys TV show is a piece of crap because none of you guys understand that part yet.
Jade is a lot like me. He'll make a video on that topic, be done with it, move on to the next one because he's got bigger fish to fry. I don't want to be dwelling on the same topic over and over and over again. There's plenty of other things too.
Then he's probably posted like 8 comments during this video that you haven't read.
Oh no, dude! Don't comment on the video. Just comment on the stream. I'm literally streaming right now.
God.
Yeah, no, we'd be even here even reading those. But here we go, Jade. Here's some context after they tried to call Mikey out for making racial slurs. I thought this was funny.
This is so fucking stupid. It's like the most bot. This dude embarrasses black people on a daily basis.
God, bro, all these black people that are supporting this fucking thing right now. All your black cards are fucking voided. Like, get out of here. We're gonna give you back to somebody.
Wait, guys, isn't Mikey white?
Yes,
that's Brodan's account.
Why is this cracker trying to speak for my race? Shut up, cracker. No, he's not. What? Don't say racial slurs now. Like, come on. And also, Cracker's not a racial slur.
Yeah.
Cracker's a type of snack.
Don't even offend them anyway. So you can't even
Okay, I guess.
They don't even
Cracker.
care.
The meaning of cracker was a term used to just make a joke, like, crack the whip. That's why we called it cracker.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Not fully honest. Yeah. Well, okay.
Okay, retard. Okay.
Oh, maybe he thought he meant like saltine crackers. I don't know.
That's what somebody said in the stream.
I mean, I just got done eating Ritz crackers, so.
And that most certainly wasn't the original origin. Not very educated now, are we, Brodan?
Now, mind you, I am sure that Brodan is pissed off more over the fact that not only am I debating him and giving strong points and definitions as to why he's wrong, but I'm doing it in the fun of a fictional character. If that irritates you, Brodan, that's perfectly fine. Just come out and admit that. But don't come out here deflecting as if my arguments have less weight because a fictional character, psychopath, who's more in the middle than you are, happens to be proving you're wrong on your own statements. I can come out here and talk just as well on my own, and I'm going to have the same opinion about it.
And let's not forget the voice behind this psychopath is actually pretty damn handsome himself, and this is coming from
Well, it's gotten really gay in here. Sorry, go ahead, Jada.
Here's the thing, Joker. See, if I use mine, no matter what argument, it's obviously right.
Right. Right, exactly. No one's gonna question you on that, Jada. Because I think it's funny. You will probably only make a video. I don't think you are the type of person to make a video on somebody's opinion and like necessarily call them out. You might address it out in a comment, right? But you're the type of guy to just criticize the entertainment as you see it, right? And if people don't like that, oh well. But the thing is, if somebody wanted to, I could see somebody starting some kind of YouTube drama with you, trying to get to egg you on. Why doesn't he make a video about me? I'm like, you don't understand Jaded's entire thing. If you look at his channel, he's never done that.
Because your opinion has no value.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's that hard.
It's like, quit being retarded. Come at me.
The whole reason why I started this channel was to exercise my voice acting muscles, was to have fun, because people wanted me to change my entire gaming channel into a voice acting based channel, all focused on the Joker. I did that, rebranded the whole thing, and was able to still do the stuff I wanted to do. Yes, it's just simple comedy. It is literally me coming on, either having guests or having quick-witted edited videos or reviews and criticizing bad movies, bad TV shows, bad opinions from people, and holding them accountable. It very similar to Jaded. The only difference is Jaded goes into the deep, analyzation of all these things and examines the one particular thing. My thing is all about examining to the most part, but also getting a stick with comedy and moving on type of thing.
It's that people will go, this episode of the She-Hulk was just boring. It sucked. It was stupid.
Right.
I'll go, no. Here's what was wrong. Here's the plot holes. Here's the plot conveniences. Here's the stupid. And the problem is, most people don't want to hear that. People just want to hear bitching and whining. So
right. They don't want to hear. They don't want to have hear a clear, concise argument as to why those things are bad. They just rather hear somebody rant and rave about it's bad, it sucks, or it's sexist, or it offended me. But there's no real, you got to have weight behind those arguments, especially if you're going to start calling something racist, sexist, or bigoted. And this goes right back to Brodan. If you're going to make those claims, you got to have some weight to it.
Like, I can tear apart what was the Star Wars sequels. I can tear apart those movies without ever once mentioning a Mary Sue or once having to mention, because whether Rey was male or female, the bullshit stupid is still bullshit stupid.
Right. Oh, yeah. Exactly. You could change those genders and those characters and it would still be poor writing.
The plot holes, the plot hole isn't a plot hole because it happens to star a female character. That's not how it works.
Right.
Well,
exactly.
it is to some people, you know.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
And it's like people are going, no. It's only a It's only a problem because it's a female issue.
It's only a problem is because it's Disney, because they wanted to beat the horse that was already dead with their stake just to see if they can nail one last time.
We keep saying Star Wars is dead, and then every year we see more Star Wars, which gets worse and worse. And somehow it's still, like Jada was saying about Andor. It's like, dude, like how much more can you go with that stuff? I mean, I totally agree what you said about Andor, Jada, which was like it completely hangs on the crux of the idea that you already know this character rather than giving him a fresh introduction, which is weird for a TV show. It's like, I get it. We already know who he is if you've watched Rogue One, but it's also kind of lazy and odd to have that choice in the writing for a TV show.
It's like,
strange.
One of the things that is a real problem that I'm having with a lot of recent movies and TV shows is they'll introduce the main character and go, okay, here's the main character. Care about this main character. Just
don't
right.
Oh, don't get me started. I'm already pissed because I've been paying attention. Literally, dude who did 8 Crazy Nights is not releasing a whole bunch of shit on a canceled Kingdom Hearts series.
Well, Champ, in your case, though, you don't have to deal with the same bullshit on the same level as we do with entertainment because you're more in the anime space.
Yeah.
I mean, now I would say that certain franchises in anime run far too long, but that doesn't necessarily mean. I mean, there's not so many bad written ones, right? One Piece and so on. But like when it comes to these TV shows and these franchises, they're bought out.
Dragon Ball.
Did you say Dragon Ball?
Come on.
Dragon Ball's been how long has Dragon Ball been around? 20?
I agree.
Sword Art Online should have never been made.
Oh my
exactly.
God.
Well, I agree with Jaded on the Dragon Ball. I'm a Dragon Ball fan, but Dragon Ball was good when it was Dragon Ball, when it was like this own little like adventure comedy, dark comedy. It was really funny.
When he was a little kid, that's it.
Right. And Dragon Ball Z, while it's good in the first chunk, it just gets worse and worse and gets more convoluted and over the top. And I love that. I love that universe. But the best one, if I had to pick the better one, I would go back to Dragon Ball, rewatch that anytime over Dragon Ball Z.
You know, that would be one of the weirdest collabs ever, WZ, but I'm all for it.
Dragon Ball Z was actually supposed to be called Dragon Ball 2, but it looked more like a Z. It just became that.
It's like I'm used to the more old school anime where once the story was done,
it's done. Yeah,
it was over. Whereas now it's like, oh look, this anime is popular. Let's try and shell out 3 more seasons. Do we have a story? Nah, we'll make it up as we go along.
Right.
You know,
I mean, Cyberpunk. I'm going to say Cyberpunk Edge Runners. I haven't seen that, but I have seen scenes from
very good show.
It's very good, but the animation, because I know the studio that made it, the Studio Trigger. I watched some of their shit, like Gurren Lagann, Kill la Kill. Some of the anime is from them.
Oh no, it's perfect time for that to come out because the game has been progressively fixed as it goes on and on. They've fixed a lot for that game and that disastrous launch. It runs so much better. It's still not the game that I would argue. It's still not the game that was promised.
Well, that's my issue with it, Joker, because what they promised in comparison, it's still like a weaker No, it's like a weaker GTA 5, which is also sad because GTA 5 was overrated as well.
What I was gonna say, yeah. Well, and I have a blast playing it, but when they did the whole Edge Runners inclusion and stuff in the Netflix thing, there's some really fun stuff. Like they changed the world on the release date of that show. That's really cool. That show is tremendous, and yes, I would say as far as if you don't want to play that game, that show is probably a better way to digest that universe. And so is the tabletop.
But you're still not going to know what half the fucking shit is about. Because
but you could probably watch a video on YouTube that has like entire condensed.
Like whenever they say something like "choom" or something, like, you don't know what the hell that's going to mean.
It's like with No Man's Sky. Years after they've been spending years updating it and fixing it, and it's still not what they had originally promised.
Well, actually, there are a lot of things though that I say like were never promised. So I would say it is now, and it is a great game. But there is still a lot of stuff, yes, that they haven't added yet that I hope they do. Like, I want those sand planets with the worms. Add them.
Yeah. No, I mean that's the thing too. It's like they add these things slowly, and yeah, it is much better than it was, and they've fixed a lot of problems when it came to the open world not being so dynamic, and the creature variation and the plant variation and the planet variation. All that stuff's been fixed with No Man's Sky. But like at the end of the day, if the gameplay is not satisfying, you've failed in your game. And the problem is that No Man's Sky's loot pool and its entire system of its core gameplay is very, very boring. And that, so they can add all the stuff that they promise on at the end of the day, but if they never evolve the gameplay, it's not going to get any better. And this is something that games like Destiny got better with, is like Destiny, at least its gameplay was fun right off the bat. Its story was lacking. And then they fixed the story and start integrating that with the gameplay and upgrading and changing the gameplay and changing the engines and evolving the story in many different ways and putting the lore back into the game. And that's why the fans are satisfied with that franchise now, because they fixed it. But not every campaign and not every game, especially online games, can do that.
One of those diehard Destiny fans. I have been there since day one, back in Destiny 1.
We've all been there from the
all the way in, except for you.
Or you could play the 14th iteration of Skyrim.
Oh,
on your smart
10
fridge.
years later, and there's still people playing the game. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Jesus fucking Christ. Just let this game done.
I finished the game in like 16 hours, and I go, that's it? That's the game? You kill the dragon and the game's over? And it was like, that's it? How are you playing the same game for 10 years?
I mean, well, they do have mods, so yeah, they can change
but it's
the
still
game.
the same game.
Yeah, it's still the same. I mean, there's sometimes mods can really change a game. Like in the case of GTA, right? GTA and its campaign and its online is just egregious. It's ridiculous and over the top. But with the mods recently, they've changed that into this whole like, this GTA sim thing where the community is like bringing new jobs, and it feels more realistic and funny. You can do stuff like that with games and fundamentally change the game and make it far more entertaining. And then you have these greedy companies that are like, no, we don't like the fact that you're modding. We're going to ban mods on our game. Like on release, before the game comes out, they'll say, we're banning all modding to our game. And it's like, okay, so you're digging your heels and putting your foot down right away, which could really shoot you in the foot, because if your gameplay is not really good and people don't respond to it, especially if it's a game for service game, and it fails, to keep your game successful might be that modding. And now you've essentially said no. Yeah, exactly.
There are games from the 90s. From the 90s that are still being updated and modded, because again, it might be a community of maybe 10, 15,000.
Right.
They're still when
they
you're
love that
passionate
game.
about a game, you got that's the thing about gamers, is that we'll latch on to a game and we'll have the passion.
Yeah,
for that.
mods are very important. Even if you're not into them, they keep games alive or fix broken games. Like, imagine if Back 4 Blood actually added mods. Imagine what they could have done. It made it not generic, fixed everything.
Right. I literally agree with Jaded here, because literally I had a mobile game that I deeply loved based off of one of my favorite animes that was from the 90s, and Bandai Namco,
the one that got canceled?
Yeah, Bandai Namco just said no more. We all know how much you love your Sailor Moon, but no, we over here at Bandai Namco love our Dragon Ball and all our other products.
Yeah, they're a bigger product. Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Fans will always come through. If they want to see it, they'll make it.
And it's like, but it took one fan literally to say, "Fuck you, Bandai." I'm gonna just reverse reverse engineer your code, and literally has made a thing for literally the game. And
didn't they have controversy from Bandai Namco about that though, when they re-released it, or did they try to like stop it?
There are fan-made Pokemon games that are more popular and have lasted longer than some of the official games.
It's because they keep releasing the little bit. This is the be and end all of Pokemon games. You can do anything in it, and then you get in there, and they've taken a bunch of features out they had in the last game. Like, stop doing that.
And
you still haven't made a definitive Pokemon game that everybody's been wanting.
And literally, I've seen a streamer that I watch. His name is Big Sig. He recently played a Pokemon modded game called Pokemon Rocket Edition. It was basically Fire Red, but it was a modded. It was a modded edition, and it was for Team Rocket. and basically it was like, and every time you got into a certain point, it's like at the SSN, you see how that guy was the captain was sick.
Mm-hmm.
It like showed, okay, so the captain before it was like we were like, what the fuck? Could this actually been what happened before the captain was sick? Like before he had his seasickness, he just inhaled a whole bunch of.
They just had a storyline. They just had a story on.
Yeah,
which is nice. I mean, especially if it's a game that already had paper thin story to begin with. But it's even better when the game already had like thick lore anyway, and then fans are able to add upon that and without breaking the lore and doing something interesting anyway. That's even better.
Yeah,
and there have been games where fan fiction, where basically the fan made lore was actually incorporated into the official lore,
right?
Yeah, because most people know the fan lore as part of like basically what's the term, headcanon, I think is what it is.
Yeah,
right.
The headcanon is just such prevalent that it ended up becoming part of. Well, then again, there's also anime that's done that too. So
Star Wars is guilty of that too, I think, because they did that when like Knights of the Old Republic came out. There would be a lot of fan stuff. I think a lot of the fan stuff is still in canon when it comes to the Jedi Origin stuff, because a lot of that is like not just George, it's also fan stuff. So that's kind of cool too. They kind of like combined it together. Of course, that didn't necessarily save stuff like The Last Jedi, where they then incorporated it. And they're like, oh, here it is. And there's the books that you've always heard of. And here's this, but they didn't do anything with it. And then they like basically pissed on all of it. It's like, and then of course you'd have the fans that were losing their minds like, oh my God, it's amazing. They fixed Star Wars. And I'm like, did they? Did they fix Star Wars? It reminds me a lot of this.
I applauded it for being different.
It broke new ground.
And
it's those fans saying it broke new ground.
The funniest thing though about that shit is like it's not even true. That's the most cliche, just lazy thing you could possibly do with an old character in IP. Like you don't know what to do. Okay, just make him an old, washed up, disgruntled like hermit who then like sack kills himself at the end. Like wow, but very Sean, original. I have not seen that before. Yeah.
But Sean, you're missing the point according to the fans. It's about family.
It's about family. And that's what's so powerful about it.
Jay is just like, not that damn but that's what it's about family, man.
I love how we turned this to just now roasting of everything.
I want to do a video where I'm going to put Fast and Furious in 5 seconds. Just show constant gear shifting and what is
and Paul Walker's death.
Vin Diesel saying it's family.
Just have
exactly.
And then include Paul Walker's death.
No.
At the end,
it's watching somebody. It's watching these guys shift into 6th gear. I want to know how they shift into 6th gear. I really want to know how they do that.
Yeah, that would be amazing. You just have that, it's just like the franchise and a nutshell at the end, and then you just put a text over Paul Walker that says the franchise.
You should have a clip of like representing each film, like a 3-second clip. So it's like the first film, just like lame ass drive-in, and then it's like film like 9. It's all about family, all right. And then at the very end, have Fast and Furious 7. It's just like a clip of a car crash with Paul Walker's name on it.
What I'll do is I'll do the one where The Rock ended up helping them as whichever one that is. I'll do
Fast 5, I think.
Let's say it's Fast 5. In Fast 4, I'll do gear shifts to Vin Diesel saying family. Number 2, gear shift saying family. 3, when it's number 5, I'll do gear shift and then have that line saying with Dwayne going, hide your baby oil, and then I'll have Vin Diesel say family.
Make sure you have him say
hey, man.
Make sure you have one where it says, oh, wait, he reminds Paul Walker.
It's all about family, man.
I believe Carrie Fisher misspoke when she said Star Wars is about family.
It's about family, and that's what's so powerful about it.
Star Wars is about a half Darth Maul with a robot bottom.
Star Wars is really about a top half Darth Maul robot and a bottom half Darth Maul robot fighting each other with 20 lightsabers while Obi-Wan is stuck in the middle.
We really enjoy shitting on her legacy.
That's how I feel about that franchise. But you're not far off when it comes to Fast.
Honest Fat Mess, what do you think? What about The Last of Us 2? It's the same.
Oh God,
thing there, but
yeah,
it's the same thing. But look, if you resonated with the game, it's fine. I didn't. All right, but if you're one of those people, who actually think that a game that got as polarized in reception as it did in comparison to a game like Hades or Doom Eternal that got nothing but loved and praised as masterpieces by literally every person who praised it, and yet it deserved Game of the Year over them at a public award show, and even get best game writing when the game writing is so basic and such a cliche idea, or game direction when so many of the ideas they promised were never used. It did nothing revolutionary or special, and they took so longer than they should have to develop it. Then you're just you should probably find a new career path. Gaming is not for you.
But Sean, you're just a boomer. Sean. You're a negative boomer, Sean.
The Last of Us. Calling The Last of Us a game. Calling The Last of Us a game is an insult to games.
Yeah.
Because The Last of Us, both of those things are video stories. That's all. You're just playing out a story.
Yeah.
It's not a game. I played adventure games that have more depth and actual gameplay.
And again, just like The Last Jedi, Jaded, what it does is so cliche and overdone. And they already did it at the end of the first game. They already did that type of message. So this entire second game with what they chose to do wasn't needed. It's like they literally tried to pull off the impossible. They tried to outdo themselves after the overhypeness and reception of the first game, but it's impossible to. So they were just like, whatever, let's just
okay, boomer.
Whatever. So it just pisses on its grave, and it's like, boom, we're a genius. It's like, oh my god.
So
no, they're very similar on story front, but
I just want to ask: do you think a horror game? Oh, I got the game right over here. Oh shit! I almost fell.
And then we saw all the dead bodies behind him in the basement.
Do you think this right here can be considered as a horror game? Doki Doki.
Here we go with Doki Doki Literature.
Yes.
Oh my god, that stupid ass game.
But it's a stupid ass game. But
he loves that game so much, Jaden.
My daughter made me play that game. And I could not stop making fun of that game. That my daughter was sitting right beside me, and she was in tears laughing because I was just tearing apart that game as I was playing it. She's going, "Dad, you should have recorded this and put it on YouTube."
You know, JD, that's what you should do. Criticize gaming plots because there's so many great ones to criticize. If you made that was your first video, Champ would be so heartbroken because he loves Doki Doki.
I love the game, but
he's in love with one of those girls. His waifus.
There was something I remember something about cupcakes.
Let me guess, it's the one that cuts herself.
Cupcakes.
Yes, well, they all either try to kill you or kill themselves.
No, the one
or kill each other.
Like is the one on the cover, her Monica.
Yeah, we know. I know because you have your you want to get that inflatable pillow of her. That's why you and MSK are literally cut from the same cloth.
No, I literally pre-ordered the Nendroid, and I'm going to pre-order the large scale figurine that's going to be coming out of Monica.
Large scale figure. He said large scale.
Well,
he said, "I wish it was full scale."
No,
Jaden's so disappointed.
Actual name.
I was also thinking of my daughter also made me play that Underworld game.
Undertale.
Yeah.
It was like I could make videos just. Everybody says everybody likes watching gamers because they play the game, and it's like I could tear apart these games so goddamn.
I mean, I wouldn't mind.
That would be actually quite interesting.
I wouldn't mind seeing Jaded rip apart my favorite game and along with these other games. I mean, I would just be sitting.
But then you have to admit defeat, Champ, if he's got legitimate criticisms to your potholes.
No, you can respectfully disagree.
A lot of the people.
No, I mean, I wouldn't mind.
Champ's too argumentative to do that.
it's fun to just hear Jaded do that. He does it with my favorite films.
I wouldn't mind because
Sure.
I'd be sitting there, literally at the end of the day, just in tears from dying of laughter at Jaded fucking ripping into Doki Doki Literature Club or into the Sailor Moon beat 'em up game that was made back in the day. Yes, there is a Sailor Moon beat 'em up where you can literally have Sailor Mercury just DDT some poor son of a bitch right into the ground.
Champ, the biggest thing I was making fun of with the Doki Doki thing was it's like his dating philosophy is all wrong. He should be dating like he's trying to run away from these women. It's like, what are you talking about?
While continuously running into him. Yeah.
It's like I want to get away. It's like even though each girl has their own fucked up mental fuck up, it's like one likes to cut herself.
But he's got a point, Champ. Is it just the girls that are mentally fucked up, or is it the player that we're not exploring what's going on with him mentally? And I think
there were options that I was making fun of. I'm going, why can't I do this? I go, no, yes, I will go out with you. Yes, I know you're psychotic. I don't give a damn.
It's supposed to, in a way, literally unnerve you.
But you mean it's supposed to represent the people that the sad, desperate people that play it, that they don't learn from their own mistakes over and over again by pairing up with psychopathic women who aren't good for them mentally, while they all themselves are also not mentally sick.
Yeah, it's like
when you've been with women like this in real life, seeing them in a video game doesn't do much. Sorry.
Right. I was gonna say because it's the women that are actually psychotic like that, Champ. That should be more terrifying to you.
Yeah, well, they are. I mean, I wouldn't actually be wanting to stick a dick in crazy because we all know what happens if you do.
Double Trigger says, "Hey, Undertale has a better story than Fast and Furious, at least."
I mean, I wouldn't.
Undertale, I think it's a good game, but it is overhyped as well. But the same
when
crowd.
you stick your dick in crazy, you just make sure that she doesn't know your real name or your address. That's all.
Or your social security number.
No, if
you should be good.
I'm never sticking my dick in crazy because if I do, I'm going to have to take a 12 gauge to it.
Champ, first you got to find something to stick your dick in. Anyway, I'm just saying.
Yeah, but something that Harley. That's something that can consent to it.
Harley.
Listen, any one of you can have her gladly. I'll give her away for free at the next yard sale.
Can I be able to shoot her?
Yeah, until somebody needs to feed the hyena.
Can you be able to shoot her?
Dude, one of my favorite episodes is when she runs away and he's stuck paying the bills and the hyenas are tearing up the place. And then that lady comes up to him. The lady comes up, she's like, rent has been due for your 2 months behind in your rent. He grabs the paper and he goes, sue me. And walks on. He's so over it.
Oh, by the way, the Batman animated Harley Quinn is the only Harley Quinn I ignore.
Yes, I agree. Yes. And the Arlene Sorkin voiced one.
Anything in regards to the comics is not Harley Quinn.
Yeah, I agree. Because they always miss the point of the creation of her character, what works about her, what doesn't.
They missed the entire point of Harley when they made her into the comic books.
And the thing too is making her the strong, independent woman doesn't work because it's her own mental incapacities of her, that makes her, she's dependent on the Joker.
Of the Joker, that's part of who she is.
Exactly. Now I'm fine with them doing that thing they did in the anime series where they made her have more of a relationship with Ivy. I thought that was cool, but she always went back to Joker, and Ivy's like, you never learn, and that's the point. And they don't do that anymore. Now she's in a lesbian relationship with Ivy, and she's an independent woman, and she hates Joker. Joker's now had a baby in the animated series, and the new one that's going on in HBO Max. Joker's had a baby with another family and is trying to settle down, but is trying to be normal and losing it. And now he's got Harley on the brain. It's bothering him, and I'm like, really? Harley on his brain, he could care less. This is the man who threw her out of a 15-story window with a fish. Could care less if she was dead because she stole his joke.
I mean, I wouldn't care because literally, if I just consider this as Elseworld Batman bullshit. If they decided to have an everyday life behind it, and I wouldn't care because I don't really.
Well, there's plenty of those.
Well, no,
in the comics.
The episode where Joker literally brainwashes Tim Drake. That's their family dynamic.
Yeah.
that episode established what the Joker and Harley would be like if they had a family.
We can't have a kid ourselves, so let's steal one. And even better yet,
we'll steal one from Batsy himself. It'll be the ultimate punchline.
The fact that that's how it's supposed to be.
Yes,
right.
I've seen.
And we'll pretend
I've seen that episode. That literally was like a gut punch when I saw it.
That's Batman Beyond Return of the Joker movie, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Then was the
Mask of the Phantasm.
Yeah. Mask of the Phantasm is great.
Where he's in he's got the robot wife, and he's pretending like
yeah.
That's the Joker's mentality of how a family is. The
right.
1950s TV show cliche.
Right.
Yeah. It's
no. And that movie is amazing too. I would say that's probably one of the near perfect Batman movie adaptations. It's sad that movie, that came out in like 92, 93 or whatever, that film still holds up, not only animation wise but storytelling wise, and it excels over most of the live action stuff.
Yeah, that's sad.
Yeah, but it's great stuff.
You have an animated movie from the 90s.
Mind you, an animated movie that wasn't supposed to go to theaters. It wasn't, but the animation was so good and such quality that WB was like, let's make it theatrical. Of course, they didn't advertise it well enough for it to make enough money, make its money back. But
and my mom knew that I was a huge Batman the Animated Series fan back then. And I was like,
this is before they did direct to video.
Yeah, and animation. I was like, Mom, I kept literally going, Mom, look, animated Batman movie, literally in theaters. She was like, we'll see it sometime.
But champ, now we have Titans season 4 coming, and a plethora of other garbage and animated projects that no one cares about, with a bunch of live action stuff that should have been canceled and then they cancel other stuff we want.
They're never gonna stop.
Endless trash.
Like I was going to say,
how do they give Titans a season 4, but then are thinking about canceling Stargirl? What? That's like,
isn't that crazy? Hey, at least they're keeping. Unless they kept some of their other good ones, but then they're thinking about that. They've canceled Swamp Thing. Well, remember that a few years ago? They canceled Swamp Thing, which was insane to me because that show was really good. They didn't even give it a chance. It's like, nope, there's not going to be a second season. And I think really is because I think Swamp Thing had too much of a big budget behind it, and they couldn't afford it at the time because that's when they launched the DC Universe app thing before the whole they're
probably in
HBO Max merger.
Doom Patrol next and Superman.
Yeah. Oh, dude, you got the original VHS. Nice.
Oh, God, damn right. I bought it
the clamshell.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, dude. They've since released it. They've released it in higher quality 1080p, but I'm still waiting for the 4K edition, which I think is rumored to come out. And they've re-released the Superman animated series and stuff, and it's been great. The Batman animated series.
Since I have my phone in my hand, I'm giving myself an arm clamp.
Yeah, champ. That doesn't look like an arm clamp. That looks more like.
I'm retarded.
Every time.
And Joker, one of the most underrated comic book adaptations.
I was going.
We were just talking about. It's funny that you mentioned that because K-Dot on his stream brought up like accuracies to characters and how that's important, not only physically for the actor to look like that or to get into that shape of that person, but the costume and everything, and why there's nothing wrong with that. And they brought up barbed wire, and they were like, "Well, the movie's crap." But visually for that character, for what Stanley envisioned, who else other than Pamela Anderson, right? Like, makes sense.
Here's the thing about this movie. After the 10-minute intro, you don't have to watch the rest of the movie.
Right.
Oh, I'm getting steamy already.
WD says champs the man.
In regards to accuracy of the character, Tank Girl did a really good job.
No, it's funny. People are like, they're like, oh man, that Tank Girl movie. I don't know if I can stand that. Would the comics be any better? I'm like, if you don't like the movie, you're not gonna like the comics because it's even more wild.
It is the comics off the page, including the anthropomorphic
The kangaroos,
an anthropomorphic kangaroo.
Right? Exactly. Oh, dude, no, and she's perfect casting for that character. Like, who would you cast to play that back then?
She would have been a perfect. She was literally Harley Quinn before Harley Quinn.
Yes, exactly.
That actress could have played Harley. Like, again, obviously she's too old when the movies came out.
Too old, and
she could totally voice her. She hasn't voiced her yet, which is weird, but she has been in DC properties before. She actually plays a character in Gotham, I think season 2, when Bruce goes to find out some information about his parent shooter, and he gets kind of like a lead, and he goes to one of her like bars, and she's playing this like Joker-esque like cult leader, where she's got white face, and it almost looks a little bit like Harley. She's got some red and black on her, but it's because she's part of that this cult like gang group, and she's in charge of this thing, and she kind of gives him a tip as to where this guy is and who he is. But then it's like, kid, it's not worth it. Don't go. Revenge is crazy and whatnot. And I know you're young, but you're gonna regret it. Don't go after this guy. This guy's a trained professional. All this stuff, but no, she's good. She's been in the DC stuff before, but yeah, I'd love to see her do voice acting for Harley, maybe in a game.
What do you think about Scott Pilgrim? Because do you like it?
My daughter loves.
It's one of my favorite.
Because this also because we did that comic book tournament, and look,
it nails the look.
No, it's not that it lost over Captain America: The First Avenger, because even though I don't get it myself, but because people in the community love it. It's their opinion, whatever. It's just the things they said about. I'm sorry, but it's like it literally it's as perfect and identical of a live action adaptation of Scott Pilgrim. From its source material as you're ever gonna get. It does a perfect, amazing job, basically, including the comedy style and rom-com style. If you don't like it, then you're just not a fan of Scott Pilgrim in general, not the film.
Yeah, true. Well, if you too, it's like people criticized Michael Cera playing the lead, but like, who else were you gonna get to play that character? And I think it's one of his better movies, to be honest.
I mean, I've never read a Scott Pilgrim book ever, and yet
Champ, just stop where you said I've never read. That'll suffice.
No, I never read
unless it's manga.
No, I never read a Scott Pilgrim book. I literally have some. Shut up.
Hell no. He's gonna make a video about you tomorrow.
We should probably retitle this stream now.
What's hentai?
I had some Halo books. I literally have some Halo books. I never read Scott Pilgrim.
Halo books.
Yeah, but I have yet. I have read I've seen the Scott Pilgrim movie. I played the Scott Pilgrim movie, the game, and I enjoyed those.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the game's awesome as well, yeah.
But Champ, what we really want to see is go get that body pillow and show them you still have it in the bag. If anybody wants to see that, it's on Twitter. You can see a post of him holding the.
You should probably retitle the stream now, Joker, to like that as the first half, and then this as the second half. Just
right.
I mean,
we've gone long off of this at this point.
Yeah, so I thought we were going to do literally a 3-minute stream. Look at it.
Oh yeah, we were, and then we got into
3 minutes.
I think you need to kill the thing right now.
God. And if he did a video on this, he would be watching the whole way through, even this talk, even though it has nothing to do with all this.
Right. Oh no, yeah. No, that'll make it more fun for him because it becomes here to check the response.
It'll be like National Treasure trying to find the fucking.
Yeah, I've already gave him.
Like, oh my God, are they still? Wait, when are they going to talk about? I already said my conclusion, dude. I've already.
He did so many streams.
I'm just waiting for him to come at me because I'm like, bitch, I don't give a fuck about you. You're just some little piece of
yes, that's what we should have. The Battle of the Retards. That's what I'll title it. Battle of the Retards. Who will prevail?
Make that your thumbnail.
And every time he's making a stupid comment or just running his mouth, I'm just going like.
Now you know, Champ. He's gonna just use the everything we've said today. Your body pillow, your anime weebness.
Oh yeah.
all that against you.
Again, Paul did
the stuff that we roast you for all the time that you won't care about.
Again, Paul did a stream one time for like 3 hours where the entire time he was talking about his old incident with Andy Signora, and then for the other 2 hours he was just talking about like comic book films and like tacos and burritos and shit. And he reacted to the whole thing in a live stream thinking it's about him.
Yeah, but think of how many times he pauses the thing and doesn't actually finish the video.
As Brodan's talking, I'm just gonna keep going, and this is all he's gonna be, and I'm just gonna be like, "Hey, chat," and this is all Brodan does.
You would go, yeah, and then you're already going for the lowest common denominator, and he'll do the same.
It's so obvious that there's only like 2 people max who are actually genuinely friends with him in that group. They just like. It's an afterthought. They invite him to kind of like that loner in the class, just so he doesn't feel bad.
He's like the quiet
It's like,
kid.
fine, dude, you can come in and like, if you want to have discussions with me, but you literally said yourself, you don't debate, you argue, which is the most childish response. It's like I said, it's like when your father calls you out and tells you to be a man and to have a discussion, and you have that response. That's what it sounded like. Which is why I'm never going to debate you or have this conversation or have the desire to, because that's all you're going to do. I've made my points. I did my counterpoints off of your comments. According to Sean, there's a billion other comments I'm going to have to go through after this.
Yeah,
but I've already responded to
if I would have to give him genuine, friendly advice, just quit YouTube and go there. Just like the 3 people who could act, the only 3 people on the entire planet who actually tolerated you, who appeared on your streams, who then like got exposed and canceled and quit YouTube and are now just like in therapy or something right now.
Sean's going in on you.
Just take their advice and do that yourself. Because I'm speaking as a friend, there's clearly something wrong with you up there.
I'm fine with you going on YouTube and still wanting to make content. But if you're upset with me, with anybody criticizing you on the social media after you put that out there, maybe you shouldn't be on YouTube. I'm just suggesting. I'm not saying you shouldn't be. Like Sean is, it's like, hey, if you can go off the platform all you want if that's what you choose. But if you are going to put stuff out there, prepare to be criticized. It's just going to happen, especially if you say something as dumb and ignorant as that.
Go to therapy and get some stuff, worked out.
But and to finish the conclusion, if you want to debate me or have this conversation, door's still open for a little while. You can do that sometime. If you want to comment down below and actually be a man and be calm about it instead of being disrespectful and say that you want to come in here and actually have a debate, you can. But as I said to many people, you got to be prepared and
better be sure.
Well, saying disrespectful is acting like he's doing anything
stupid.
Right.
Bang, bang. I will shoot.
What? That's that face by Champ.
That terrifying face with Champ. Do you remember when Pickle said on our last stream that you were like 2 seconds away from becoming a school shooter, and even Jess was like, I'm scared for what Champ might do, and then Pickle was like, he's like, let me see your basement, because that didn't help your case at
holy
all.
fuck, it's the Bjork stalker shooter versus the school shooter.
No, it's Chris Chan.
No, you made me the fucking Joker made me a mod in YouTube, and I'm like, that's why I'm giving that little fucking
listen, you may be a mod, but that doesn't mean you're exempt from all this.
God, like that face he made while saying that, it's like it just gave me flashbacks to that episode of Lost where that character shoots the guy at like the food truck.
Oh my god!
Champ, just establish that you picked your basement because of the great acoustics, so that way the voices screaming carries a lot longer.
Because that's what we need to hear his voice and amplified noise even further.
No, I meant the voices of the
Oh, yeah, of course.
He's coughing from all that smoke after the fire from getting roasted.
No, it's because he's down in the basement's full of asbestos. It's okay, Champ. You can dust off your weeb anime collection every once in a while, right? I know there's probably some black mold on there. Of course, I bet you if we looked at your pile right now, Champ, The only one, there would be very specific ones that are clean because you take them out every day, but the other ones stay there. And I'm willing to bet most of the ones that come out all the time are the hentai.
I know. There is no hentai.
Yeah, that's what your phone's for. I know.
Hey, Champ, what's your... Go on, Champ, what's your opinion on Lolly?
What the fuck?
On Wally. He probably only saw that one robot looks like a vibrator.
No,
and
he
definitely didn't take the cautious.
I thought he said Lolly.
That's what I
Lolly.
Oh, yeah, L-O-L-I. I'm like,
is that what you said, Sean?
Champ,
what Lolly do you think I said?
Champ,
yeah, that's the answer. Is what is Lolly? But he knows what Lolly is, though, because the fandoms he's a part of do some really stupid shit and defend some of that stupid shit, and he's just like, man, I can't. He's like, these people. There's some Champ.
I'm like, no,
it's not child pornography. It's just child pornography, Drew.
It's like they're taking a 900-year-old kid, fucking character who literally looks like a fucking child, and making them more like.
Yeah, sometimes they'll take adults and make them children, or they'll take children, some that were children, and draw them to be more childish. It's weird.
Yeah, and so many of them are drawn by actual
disgusting.
sex offenders.
Yes, by people who literally admitted to it.
Yeah, to admit to touching children and being attracted by them and all the sellers, and also, so there are many of them that the adaptation of the art they draw it off of is actual child pornography they've saw on the internet.
Yeah, true. Go ahead, Jay.
When you're reading Lolly, you read it for its authenticity. I mean, come on.
No.
Yeah, it's funny. I bet you that's what the Lolly defenders would totally do. Like when people would get caught with Playboy. I read it for the articles. Sure, you do.
You read it for the story.
I'm literally a part of the community.
You do, don't you, Jada? You're an article reader.
I can.
When this anime came
Aiden
out,
said he does it. He does it. I knew.
When this,
hang on.
Go ahead.
I was doing. In high school, you have to do like a speech and stand in front of the class and do.
Mm-hmm.
And the topic I picked at the time, I picked a topic called spontaneous human combustion. It was such a hard topic to find. There was actually an article in a Playboy magazine, and the library found out about it. The library, because the librarian ordered the magazine, photocopied the article part, and gave me the article part for my actual speech. So
what did you say? What would you say the title was? Something combustion?
Spontaneous human combustion. That was the topic. And the librarian I went to at the time the internet didn't exist yet. I had to go to a library. It's a building full of books,
right?
But you don't actually buy them.
This generation does not know.
Oh yeah, right.
And
these newer generations do not know of.
She got me like 2 books, and one of them was an actual article in a Playboy magazine.
Hey, and what better article?
Playboy for the articles.
But what better thing to you when you're talking on the topic of spontaneous combustion? What better than a Playboy to get that through, right? Because you can go home and combust all you want.
I mean,
considering the friction that's involved.
Right.
Like literally,
my god!
And when one of the animes that came out, Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, there was a little humanoid dragon who literally looked like a child, and most of us who thought this pure innocent character was so cute, we literally all coined the phrase don't move the dragon long. It's just like
yeah, but how many people perverted that and then took it to a whole nother degree, Champ, online?
A million. It's just like I forgot R34. If it exists, there's gonna be porn of it. Thank God.
Even in the anime Ranma and a Half, there was a character named Shampoo.
Who
was obviously underage,
Yeah.
And yet that wasn't considered lolly, and you did see bare breasts, and you did see her,
like literally
right?
in Sailor Moon back and
Technically Sailor Moon, Sailor Moon is just underage. She's not really lolly.
yeah, but in the 90s,
because
like
she's
in the Japanese version, they didn't care. They literally when they're in certain episodes when you
as
see
opposed to the American cuts.
Yeah, they actually established she was in grade school, but in the English adaptation, they never established that she was in grade school.
They don't clarify it.
Yeah,
they always
right.
blank out every time there was the word grade. That was always
and because it was literally because it was in fucking Japan. Like literally, when in Japan, their schooling is a lot different. Like they would always have like certain certain years be on a certain floor, like the seniors would be on like a certain floor, the middle like second years and third years would always be on one floor, and that's how they would do it. Like, and by the end of the series, which we never did get in the geek dub, fuck them.
I love the Deke dub just because it annoys Champ. It actually has the better theme song, but he still hates it.
It does not.
It does.
It does not.
I love Sailor Moon when it's pure camp trash.
It does not. Does not.
You take it too seriously.
It does not have the best in music.
Tuxedo Man alone is just the pure camp.
Even though I would not say the Japanese version, because I think it's even worse. Because even though
I'm sorry, Tuxedo Mask. Was it Tuxedo Mask?
Yeah, Tuxedo
Okay,
Mask.
so what have you said before that you can prove that lolly is authentic? Who said that?
God.
Lollies are just lollies.
Was that Jaded who said that?
No, I said when you read lolly, you read it for its authenticity. That's why.
I see.
I mean, look, since a lot of it,
child rapist to draw it, so that way you.
And since a lot of it is based on real stuff they've seen, then apparently you're right.
It's like
the Joker's Corner does not condone any of these things that are said in the show. I'm just kidding.
I see lolly.
Neither do any people who actually watch it, but they're not going to admit to it either.
Right.
I see a lolly. I'm just.
Oh my God.
I see a lolly. I'm like, she's a cute. What the fuck? I do not like her. She is pure evil for what she just committed. I want her head on a pike. I want her body filleted.
What she?
Whoa!
Literally, you can have a cute little lolly who's not.
Are you victim blaming?
Look, I've seen fucking.
She probably wasn't the one. Dude, she probably got molested and then did that shit, or
Listen, age of consent in Japan is 14, but that does not mean that Americans over here need to use that to justify the fact that they're looking at child porn. I don't think that they need to be using that as an excuse.
Don't be culturally insensitive, Joker. Come on.
Now Champ. You know what you're saying. John's going to roast you on the next episode we're going to have a full debate about this because you wanted to bring up this from what was presented on Twitter anyway. So this could be a full topic next time.
I'm like...
Champ a brony? No, he hates bronies. Strangely enough.
Bronies.
He hates bronies and furries, but... I mean, have you seen his basement? I mean, we're pretty close, he's thinking about waifus and having body pillows. I mean, we're pretty close, at any moment he could snap and go the other way.
I mean, that is true.
This is what Champ does for lunch down there.
We'll begin with the spin, traveling in a world of my creation. What we'll see will defy explanation.
Okay, you don't use the cat. You don't use the cat because it causes problems. You use white mice.
Well, to be honest, Champ, it's the only pussy he's gonna get, so beggars can't be choosers.
But I'm
we gotta take what we get.
I'm just with I forgot what anime it was, but this dude got shoved into onto the train tracks and he got isekai'd into a different world, but he became a little girl who's this fucking
He became a little girl.
Yes,
he got pushed from a train and became a little girl.
No, he got pushed in front of a train, got hit, and that caused him to go into an alternate universe.
And he got reincarnated,
or like a reincarnation. Yeah,
he got reincarnated and it is a girl, but this
God.
girl has like magical powers. No, this is not like Sailor Moon, but
they did this to do a trans allegory thing.
No, it was like basically they used their magic, like they used their powers like this so they could fly and basically commit war crimes and all that shit. I forgot what it was called. I forgot what this anime is called. I have to look it up. But,
somebody in chat will tell you.
Yeah, someone in chat. Well, being I wouldn't know what it is. But like I've seen like this with all this girl does. I'm like, that ain't a cute 900. That ain't a cute lolly. That is an evil satanic lolly. That
Hitler lolly.
Yes.
What the saying?
Yeah. Yes, there is a Tanya the Evil. Thank you, Yui.
Is that what it's called?
Yes, Tanya the Evil.
Nice.
Literally, as the fucking title is called.
I was on a forum. No matter how obscure, somebody in chat will always know.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I know we have a few anime fans in here too, and they're very much happy to oblige when it comes to that. I mean, the anime that I'm aware of is Golden Age anime, and I'm talking stuff like Bebop, Trigun, Hellsing, Ghost in the Shell, Akira, like the Golden Age anime where it's actually like all great.
And since you guys like cyberpunk edge runners, then you guys would definitely love Gurren Lagann.
I feel like Jaded would like Edge Runners. I don't know if he would be a fan of their art style because it's more of like the sharp, jagged, kind of punk-esque.
I liked Redline, so that was fine.
Oh, okay, yeah. Then you'll definitely like it. Yeah,
Gurren Lagann is that same art style as cyberpunk Edge Runners.
Yeah. Oh God, here we go. We're gonna get into a Gurren Lagann.
Oh, hold on. There's something that'll probably piss off Champ. Studio Ghibli sucks.
No. He actually will agree with you on that. He hates Studio Ghibli.
Other than one movie, there's only one movie that Studio Ghibli's ever made.
No.
You better say the right one.
No, I don't like any of
Nausicaa and the wind. Something Nausicaa and the Wind.
No.
Oh, is that the one? Oh, okay.
None of Ghibli's movies appeal to me. Only one thing that Ghibli.
Mind you, he's only seen 2.
Nausicaa of the Valley of
yeah. I think I know which one you're talking about. The early days.
I've ever liked.
He, mind you, Champ's only seen like 2 or 3.
Oh,
he hasn't. He still needs to see others to see because I told him, I said there's still Princess Mononoke and other stuff he hasn't seen. He hasn't even seen
the one with the delivery service.
No, I've never seen any of them.
Kiki's Delivery Service. Yeah, I always find that one overrated. Some people love it. You have to be. I like anything. He needs to see Grave of the Fireflies, which actually is probably one of the only few of the animated features that has a near 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it earns it too because that's early Studio Ghibli stuff. And Grave of the Fireflies is actually really, really good. It's emotional and it's a very kind of like sad story. It's just a little bit different than his later stuff.
Ghibli does not entertain me. I'm sorry. The only thing in the Ghibli art style that does entertain me is fucking Ni no Kuni.
Is it the art style that you don't like, or is it the
like them
because the art style is smooth as hell? If it's the story, I understand that.
I don't like the art style as fucking hell. Just that weird look with it.
There's such a variety of art style when it comes to anime.
For sure. And there's the Canadian anime style, which is very different too.
No, it's the Ghibli art style that I do not like.
Okay.
I mean, it depends on the era too. The early stuff. I think his earlier stuff's better. Maybe aside from maybe a couple others. Like I think
none of the styles ever work for me. It's just like the only thing Ghibli that works for me is the Ni no Kuni video games.
What about have you seen Sherlock Hound when they did the TV show? That's actually really good.
I don't think I ever seen Sherlock Hound.
I would recommend that, and of course, I think some of the other stuff like Howl's Moving Castle. I think Howl's Moving Castle is probably the one I've seen the most. I think it's the one I like. I can digest the best. I prefer that movie over all of his other ones, out of his later ones, because The story's really well told. The vision, like the style is weird, like pseudo, like Eastern European 1950s style doesn't really get in the way of the story. It kind of actually helps it quite a bit. And even though it's a crazy, weird adventure fantasy movie, it never gets so weird to the point like Spirited Away and some others do, where it gets so over the top that it kind of lost in its own style.
Spirited Away's art style does not. The art style with Spirited Away, it does not fucking help try to get me.
House Moving Castle is awesome.
Anybody who tries to who says, "Oh, I need to see this or this from Studio Ghibli," I'm gonna go, fuck you, and get your trash taste out of my face, because I would not see your fucking dead ass movies.
You already know I like that. Well, here's the thing. I think there's some that I don't like, and there's some that I think are overlooked. I think if any major Hollywood studio were to come in and look at Studio Ghibli and say they want to adapt one, the one most commonly that you hear people, besides like Kiki's Delivery Service, I think the one that you'll see that they really want to make that would be impossible to do in live action is Howl's Moving Castle, because it's the one that I think that gets the most respect out of the whole bunch. It's like, as you know, generations go on, it's the one that has the best storytelling. Everybody wants to do that, and I think also the voice acting in it is excellent. And so they kind of think that, well, maybe if we get something, we can't screw this up, right? We could just have some of the actors that we had voicing these characters come in and do the live action, because Christian Bale plays Howl, right? And then you've got Billy Crystal playing the Flame, that's keeping the entire house together, and very prominent voice actors that are actually big actors.
If you can't seem to do live action, if you don't seem to want to do the live action, then at least do what Funimation did, and that is bring the entire voice cast and just dub over the Japanese version of it. Because like with the Netflix Bleach movie, people are gonna lambast me for this, but I actually thought that was a pretty good way of doing something. They brought in everybody. Stephanie Shea, who is the current and consistent voice of the current Sailor Moon. They brought in Johnny Young Bosch, who voices Broly,
and a billion other characters.
And a billion other characters.
Johnny's awesome.
And literally. And I thank God he now voices Broly, because now the fucking Broly and the fucking Power Rangers meme is now come full circle. Literally, you see Broly wearing the fucking that frog black.
Out of all the conventions, Johnny is the one I bump into the most, which is kind of funny.
But it's just fucking funny because now you see artwork of Broly. He's wearing that Black Ranger frog outfit, and he's like,
"You guys talk about bronies now."
No,
Broly from Dragon Ball Z.
That's what it sounded like. It sounds like you had to describe it like a brony festival.
No, this is the Dragon Ball Super Broly. This is the newer Broly, the Super one, where he's.
What would you do if they recreated all of the Dragon Ball Z characters but made them brony designs, champ? I'm just saying hypothetical.
I would literally become Dragon Ball Z Broly. I'd be like, Brony.
How does it feel to have lived long enough to see all of your favorite franchises go down in flames?
Feels great.
I mean, like,
they're done that.
Right? I was gonna say it's already done torched at this point.
No, I literally fucking just
Star Trek, Star Wars, Marvel.
Jaden, I put a poll up last month out of all the overrated, overplayed franchises currently right now, which would you want to see go the most? Like be delayed like for 10 years or just go? No. I put the bigger franchise. I put Star Wars, Star Trek, DC, Marvel.
Can I still say Power Rangers?
I mean, you can. You know that. I mean,
I thought we said big franchises.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, big in the terms that these big studios own them and push them down our throats like crazy now. But Star Wars, Star Trek, Marvel, DC, and the one that came out on top was Star Trek. It had the most votes, which is crazy because I thought I think Star Wars was in second. MCU was in third and DC was in fourth.
They screwed up because with Star Trek, they've screwed up Star Trek more times than they screwed up Star Wars.
Yeah,
I can agree with that. Yeah, because it has an entire series though, Sean, that's been like screwed up. Like you have Picard on for several seasons, and third its final, and then you've got
because of that, you're kind of used
Discovery.
to it at this point, though. So there's no harm, no foul. Unlike Star Wars, where it's just stop, let it be now.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing too with Disney is I feel like whenever they make a product, some people, even though they know they're not going to like it, feel like they have to go see it. But then with the nice thing with TV is like with me as a Star Trek fan, I don't feel like I have to watch it because I know it's gonna be crap. So I just don't watch it. I like on TV, most of the stuff that's on TV, I think people are easier at ignoring as opposed to movie franchises. I think the studios make you feel like you have to check them out either in the theater or watch them on Disney Plus.
Oh, that reminds me.
So like guilt trip these fans into watching them.
That reminds me, Disney's gonna be extremely fucked here soon.
I mean, you say that. We see this every year. Yeah, when?
Because literally right now in the process, there is an 11-minute pilot on VHS.
Hold on, I got to respond to you, Devil Trigger, later. I'll respond to that.
Yeah. No, I agree. There's something I want to say about that.
There's an 11-minute pilot on VHS for a Kingdom Hearts series.
Oh, yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, and right now, that is in the fucking works of literally getting turned into a DVD and put out there so we can view. And I am telling you this, as soon as everybody in the fucking Kingdom Hearts community fan base sees this, Disney is gonna see a fucking title.
I'm almost sure they're going to release it to see the fans' reactions, and if the fans' reactions to that pilot that was never aired is massive, then they're going to greenlight it to continue it. The question is, do I want to see a Kingdom Hearts anime TV show on Disney Plus if they're going to ignore the Final Fantasy franchise? Because they're starting to do that now, where they're focusing so much on the Disney universe that they're forgetting their key characters they set up in the Final Fantasy universe, the Square Enix stuff, and it's that franchise is so convoluted anyways. I feel like they could get rid of some of that in the show. That would help.
What I'm thinking they're going to do with the
Kingdom
Hearts series is that what they're doing now with the games is that they want, if they're going to do a TV series, they want to have the game stand out on its own without anything from.
Yeah, no, I agree. They need to be like, I think you and I talked about that. We need to agree. They need to reboot, do their own thing.
But
don't tie them in together like they've been doing with everything else in the franchise, like multiple games and stuff. But let's address this, champ, because I want to know your opinion. Because Jada's got one on this. Says best anime live action movie.
I got the name right. I got to make sure I got the name right.
All right, hands down. What are you gonna say, champ? What do you think?
What?
Do you agree with that? Best anime live action movie?
What is
comment there? Do you not see that?
No, I do not know what the name is.
Oh, okay. So you haven't seen it. I was just seeing if you've seen it before.
I don't know what the fuck it is.
Devil Trigger, I'm gonna just put my 2 cents in there. I think the best live action anime adaptation happens to be an American adaptation. I think it's Alita Battle Angel by far. I think Alita Battle Angel is the perfect spot on embodiment of how you reboot something.
Yes.
And then you make that character redeemable and interesting, and then you set up a universe. That movie was wonderful. And I remember the original material.
And you and me sat there and watched that. I was like,
I loved it so much. I went and saw it 5 times in the theaters to support it when it was getting its second run of increased viewership. Because at that time, Captain Marvel was out, and everyone was going to see that. But then everyone heard that this was how much better that film was, and then they went in the second week, and its numbers increased, which is what helped its viewership and its ratings.
No, because I literally told you this. My fucking little brother was so stupid. He took me to see
Clamor for Fortnite.
boring Captain Marvel movie. I was like.
Yeah, instead of that. Well, the nice thing is you can see it on digital with me, so I have something to
listen,
let's go jaded.
You don't need to say that your little brother is stupid.
No. A screenshot of the cover of the poster, but the best anime live action movie is hands down The Guyver.
Really? Wait, the Guyver 1? Because I know some people prefer 2 over Guyver 1.
No, because Mark Hamill, I'm sorry, but The Guyver was one of my favorite animes,
Mhm.
and the movie was so bad and so
Yeah.
cheesy and so corny. Like
Yeah.
the first half hour of the movie, I was like pissed.
Oh,
I was like,
okay.
this
Yeah,
is
I see
so
what you Devil
ridiculous.
Sugar. I know. I was
But
like,
then I was like, okay, I'm getting the joke, and it was like, yeah, I will pick the Guyver
Right.
over any other.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now I because I kept the name when I kept reading it, what you said, the movie said. Yeah, I've only seen the first
I'll let you
Rurouni
talk about it back.
I've only seen the first Rurouni Kenshin movie.
I've not seen the second one because the first one was all I could handle. The first one was all.
No,
you haven't seen the beginning and then the final that came out last year.
I have not seen the second and the third one. But I loved the first one. If you're going to do a live action anime movie, that is how Rurouni Kenshin is how you're supposed to do it. You're going to make it accurate to the point where, you have
to have like a budget of like $10,000 because that's apparently the budget they had for that.
God damn, $10,000. I don't really care because it literally looked good. I mean, literally, it was that believable because literally the guy who they had that kept playing Kenshin literally made me believe there's just no way that they actually pulled this off.
Well, if they can pull off Berserk live action, I will give that.
Wait, they did a Berserk live action?
No, I'm saying if they did a Berserk live action, I would give that a shot because especially now with what they can get away with now in live action, I think they can do Berserk justice.
I mean, oops, I just dropped my phone. But,
I mean, which one are you talking about, champ? Because there's like 4 or 5 Rurouni Kenshin films.
Oh, like the first one. Like I've only seen the first one.
That is true. I am a huge fan of Samurai X and Rurouni Kenshin. I really don't think the live action ones are some of the best adaptations out there. It's kind of a shame. There's a lot of stuff that they missed character-wise that they kind of streamlined down to kind of like the basic stuff for that film. And I know there's sequels, but after the first 2, I was like, nah, I'm good.
The live action Battleship Yamato was really, really well done. I did enjoy that.
I want to see if they can do a live action Berserk because everyone's saying it's impossible or whatever.
I think now,
sadly, or you
could pull it off. Yeah, I feel like you could.
Not 10 years ago, not 5 years ago, but probably.
Right.
Or you can go and do and I know it's out there. There is a live action Sailor Moon series, and oh my god, I wish I never.
Yeah, I think it's on Pornhub.
No, it's basically in the style of Power Rangers. I'm like, no.
Oh god.
No.
I was gonna say, by your first reaction, I was gonna guess if it was a porn parody instead.
No, it's in the style of Power Rangers, and this show literally takes liberties with Sailor Moon. Instead of bringing in Chibiusa, they turn Luna into a Sailor Guardian. I'm like,
that sounds like a great idea.
No, it's not, because literally, I could get the fucking Sailor Luna transformation and just cringe everybody out in chat.
Okay, listen, Sailor Moon was the first anime I ever saw, so
really? Wow.
Yes, then you would agree with me.
Okay.
Then you would agree with me that some things like a live action Sailor Moon series that takes way too much liberty with the manga and the fucking source material literally should not exist.
The first animated anything I ever got into as a kid was G1 Transformers. That's where I started, and that's by far holds a really special place in my heart. Those characters, that universe and stuff. So I love G1 characters.
Well, for
They're
me,
so good. That movie.
No, for me, I can't really say where with regular animation, but for anime, I'm gonna say with. Like probably most of us, like from most anybody else, started with Pokemon, then Yu-Gi-Oh, and then really the gateway into.
You mean in the 90s, right?
Yeah, and then
that's when anime started to become mainstream because DBZ and Pokemon.
DBZ,
like,
Pokemon
in America anyway.
Literally, But the truth,
yeah, no, yeah, 80s is the best stuff. Yeah, I agree.
But the truth is that the first anime that was actually been given a chance over here, even though there was anime way before it, but the first mainstream anime that was actually given a chance by Turner Broadcasting was Sailor Moon.
Nope, it was before that.
Oh, I know there were others, but like
Robotech.
Oh, I know about that.
Was the one that brought anime to the mainstream in the.
Oh, I know there was like shows.
Nobody
like
knew
anime.
about Macross, and I forget the other show that it was grabbed from. But
I know about
Robotech
that.
and Gundam were the two.
Wait. If you know about that, then why did you say Sailor Moon?
Well, because
because it's his favorite one.
Well, no,
I'll
it's
tell you
because
that.
because it's like it's in Cartoon Network. They need to like or somewhere.
Okay, so
like,
what you're saying? Hold on. What you're saying is that it's the one that like made like a lot of people then like start to like kind of like when they were younger grow up around the anime more.
Yeah, like with the
it was
whole Toonami.
It was more for the demographic
but like
than anything else. Because
I have one right here. One of the later Gundam series.
Before Sailor Moon, you had Robotech, you had Gundam, you had Evangelion, you've had again like in the 80s.
Said it again.
The high end in the 80s.
It's on this later.
Yeah, in the 80s, anime was mechs. That was it. It was
hell even before, unless I guess the only thing other than that anime that wasn't mech based is something like maybe Speed Racer and like a couple of,
I mean before that there was Astro Boy,
Astro Boy, Astro Boy's a big one. You can't ignore the history of anime without Astro Boy.
Yeah,
but Astro Boy never hit it in North America. Now
that's a shame.
Robot.
Yeah, but the one with the giant orange cat. I remember that one as well.
Yeah. But like
none of those actually hit in North America. They were big in Japan,
right?
But they weren't.
Isn't that funny? Because that still has not hit as much as it is in Japan. But then you have something like Cyborg 009, which became really famous over here, and then we got all the other mech stuff that became famous here, or Blue Gender, or Gundam Wing and stuff was really prominent. And like you would see that all over Adult Swim and Toonami, and people were obsessed with the mech stuff. And then the small robot stuff came later.
Iniki, right?
And I was
but.
That's the show you meant, right, Jaden?
Like modern,
you meant Mikan and Iniki, right?
I'm sorry, what?
Mikan and Nikki, you meant?
What the fuck?
No, it was Macross and another series that Robotech was a.
Well, no. I meant the show with the orange cat. You said.
Oh, what was the name?
Mikan and Nikki.
Yes, thank you. Probably it.
But
I haven't seen that
for more modern
that's
anime.
Like 70s. That's 70s.
Oh, okay, that's early.
Like for more modern anime,
you actually had to get the tapes sent to you from Japan. That's how I got.
Oh, okay.
Back in the 80s, boys and girls, the only way you could see anime that wasn't on television was you had to order it from Japan,
right?
Or you had to go to. Get this. You actually had to go to comic book conventions.
Go to the conventions, to get all of them.
Guys that literally had like a table with all pirated third generation copies of the anime.
Devil Trigger says Ultraman, exactly. Dude, while you guys were collecting those kinds of things, I was collecting stupid stuff like copies of the Star Wars Holiday Special at Comic-Con.
Hey, I have one of the few third generation copies of that movie.
Nice.
It's like getting very fucking late for me.
No, that's fine. We're gonna end it anyway, but I love it. Next time we'll just jump on here and just talk about random stuff. People got topics they want to bring up, geek out about. We'll do that. Because I feel like we need to talk more about early day comic books, anime, maybe even like some like early. One thing I really want to talk about with you, Jaded, is the history of like sitcom television and like how much that's changed and like how sitcoms really aren't a thing so much anymore as they are reality TV.
Yeah,
here's the interesting thing. Here's an interesting thing when it comes to family sitcoms. The further back you go, the larger the families.
Yes, yeah.
Fucking
that is crazy.
Fresh Prince, now the Fresh Cucked.
Well, Fresh Prince in that case, he's like already going into a family that's already somewhat big, I guess. But I mean, that's not really.
It's like,
there were bigger families than that.
But you
Partridge Family,
family,
Brady Bunch. Yep. I agree.
The further back you go, the bigger the families got. Whereas nowadays, it's like just one or two kids. Like even with what was it in the 90s or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
When a show went too long, what would they do? Introduce a new baby or introduce a new, like Family Matters did that. The one
Good old Family Matters, man.
The one with Bob Saget.
Full House.
Full House.
Full House.
Yep.
The guy that married the guy that played
Uncle Jesse.
Cool guy, Uncle Jesse.
Yeah.
They got twins.
Yep.
As the years go by, they just
Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen.
As Mary-Kate and Ashley got much older, they're like, we need more cutesies.
Yeah.
Cute
nowadays,
twins.
no matter how popular,
even though they forgot about the third twin.
Right. Yeah. No, that is true. I think when you look at the dynamic of families too, and the different generations is kind of interesting to look at. And then you have, I would say, the biggest family is one of my favorite shows of all time, Cheers. They make themselves a giant family in a bar.
And what did they do? They added a baby.
Yeah, they added a baby, dude, and they kept that sexual tension up between Ted and and Lorraine the whole time. You're like, will they? Won't they? That was their whole thing in the first 2 seasons, especially. Then they kind of broke them away, made them do their own thing. Brought in, focus on some of the other characters. And then when they had Woody in there, then they, later in the the whole thing of them basically winning out, they got married. And
the problem was Coach died. They had to introduce a new character, but Woody's character was so different from Coach, whereas Coach,
right?
I mean, they were both the lovable idiots, but
yes. Yeah, and a completely different generation. Yeah, no, I like that show a lot. That show is a weird comfort show to me. I can play that on TV, like it'll be on at like 2 a.m, like before I go to bed. I'm like, oh, it's kind of nice comfortability because I've seen all the episodes, I know them, and I can like sleep really well. This is back when like Letterman was still on TV. Like when Letterman was still on TV, my
didn't have the beard of Santa.
Yes, when he didn't have the Netflix beard, dude. Every night I would get on there, and I was like, it's a weird habit, but I would watch an episode of Cheers on the one station and then go immediately to Letterman and watch his show and then go to bed. And I would always sleep on time as I needed to. But then if I didn't do that, I had trouble sleeping. Now that Letterman's not been on TV, it's been really weird for me because it's like, nighttime TV shows or talk shows like that don't really exist per se anymore.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck? Jay Leno, now when Jay Leno quit, it was like...
Well, Jay Leno has a car show now. That's actually quite excellent.
There was a talk show with a Scottish guy.
Craig Ferguson.
The one that Corden took over for.
Yeah, Craig Ferguson. He was wonderful.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah. He was one of those. He was one of those guys where he was like a cult classic, but he had a following.
Like a lot of people wouldn't like go and check out his show because it was right after Lemon. But man, I tell you what, the following that he did get, like that built up, and he was like he's probably the most random funny dude. He would literally have skits strode all over the show in between to like waste time. Sometimes his guests, they would waste so much time that he couldn't get a guest on. And they'd have to wait until the next week to do it, which is wonderful. If you want to see the best clip of Craig Ferguson live, watch any of his shows where he has Ewan McGregor on with him, because they become like brother buddies because they're all born from the same place.
A really good thing with Craig Ferguson is when there was a leak in the studio and he literally applied it as part of the show.
Yes, yeah.
The roof was leaking. And he comes on, does the monologue in like that really stupid yellow raincoat type thing, like the Coast Guard or whatever. And he would, and throughout the show, he would actually reference and still go, by the way, like he would still comment to make, like halfway through the show, you kind of forgot about the fact that the roof was leaking until he'd make a comment reminding you because he thought of a really good joke or a little.
That's the Devil Trigger. I also saw Monsters. Yeah. Oh, by the way, You know,
he would always insult the budget on their show too.
Oh, and
whose performance? Oh, Jeff Daniel Film.
Yeah, Champs in Monsters. You know,
if you want to learn how to flirt, watch Greg Ferguson with all the hot female guests because he does nothing but flirt with them, and they flirt.
Yes, he does. Yep, he loves all of his pretty guests. Oh, dude, it's so funny. That would never go well today. People will be trying to cancel him a long time ago. Sean, what you want to say that out loud? What you said about Champ and his performance in the Monsters?
Well, yeah, he did a great job. They didn't even need to use any makeup. They saved some money.
Damn.
I don't give a damn. Go on.
The goon roasting has commenced.
Keep feeding thy ego.
Yeah, well, what were you guys discussing earlier? By the way,
just keep feeding.
Oh, we were just talking about sitcoms, like the change in the history.
I was gonna bring up what you asked earlier. Now that Jade is here about Man on the Moon, since he really loves that guy.
Oh, let's save that for another time. I'm thinking about doing a review on it. If you guys want to talk about it, I would love to discuss Man on the Moon, like in a short, like 10-minute. I can record it. We don't even have to stream, or we can stream however we want to do it. But I would love to review Man on the Moon now that it's kind of getting a resurgence again on Netflix and stuff, and more people are talking about it, because that's something I'd like to get into, because I love that. I love that comedian. So be interesting. Not Jim Carrey, obviously. Andy,
Oof.
but
Yeah, he said his favorite moment was when he just like challenged two female wrestlers.
Jim Carrey post The Mask.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Which can be good or bad, but I
mean, depending on what part of his career. I mean, you could say, could it be Sonic Jim Carrey or?
Well, Sonic Jim Carrey is basically Mask Jim Carrey.
And Ace Ventura, Jim Carrey, and all.
Ventura, Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
That is who Sonic Jim Carrey was. He was going back to that character.
Right, I agree.
I'm glad he did, because really, I did not like Jim Carrey's more serious shit.
Oh, he's got good serious roles. It just depends on what you watch. It just depends on who's writing him. That movie, The Majestic, where he plays the guy who gets amnesia, washed up on shore after trying to commit suicide, and then going out on it from Hollywood, and then he's like rediscovers his love for Hollywood and film through a guy who lost his son in the war, and he kind of like brings him under his wing, thinking it's his son. I thought that was a really good movie.
This is another reason why I hate Tom Hanks so much.
It's kind of like
Tom Hanks was a comedy character that decided, I'm going to go straight and I'm going to start doing serious dramas. So then guess what? Every other comedian had to do serious dramas. And it's like,
it's kind of like Harry Potter's actor, when he did that one movie where he was a dead guy. It's kind of like where his career is now. It's basically dead.
First of all, if you think Daniel Radcliffe's career is dead, you need to re-examine your head, champ, which you need to do anyway. But Swiss Army Man is an excellent film, first of all. He does a ton of indie movies, does a ton of big budget movies. He doesn't need the trash that is Harry Potter to carry him.
He just did a Weird Al film. Like, come on.
Yes. Did Daniel Radcliffe get outperformed by a horse?
Oh, the Equus play, yeah. Well, no, what made him famous about that wasn't so much his. I mean, they said people who saw that said his performance was excellent, but what took the stage when that came out was the fact that he was going to be naked on stage. Like, it was such a it was so crazy. I'm like, that's Equus though. That's like any actor that would have played that role. That's exactly what happened. But we're freaking out because it's childhood boy Daniel Radcliffe we've seen for years growing up.
He did that Shoot 'em Up movie, which sucked too. So
the
was it Kimbo? Yeah, was all right.
Kimbo.
Okay, no,
it's not as good as Clive Owen's Shoot 'em Up. Clive Owen's Shoot 'em Up's hilarious.
It's a sloppy film from left to right, but it's a guilty
nothing.
pleasure.
Nothing is better than Sin City. Fuck y'all.
Sin City 1 is good. Sin City 2 is trash.
Yeah, Sin City 2 is trash. But nothing.
Something Aces. What was it called?
Smoking Aces?
Smoking Aces.
Yeah,
That's a guilty pleasure where it's actually done well.
I need to see that again.
I didn't say it's done well, but it's done enough where it's watchable.
Okay.
I mean, Rise of
Jesus,
Wood
all
is
right.
This is like
Sin
how you think
City.
A24 movies are watchable. So what do you know?
Yeah, they're
I mean,
There are a few good A24 movies even this year, but you know what? Most of them are jaded. They're not horror films. They're like dark comedies
They're
or
art
like quirky
films.
dramas and like.
No. They're movies by guys who just finished art school the year before and go, I can make a movie. Who hired me?
No, I mean, yeah, in
Not
some
a
degrees,
problem.
but
Come on over.
that's
Where'd you get
that's
the
not.
script? Where'd you get the script? Oh, I found it in the Warner Brothers dumpster. Good enough. Bring it over.
You're getting it confused with Neil Druckmann, the writer and creator of The Last of Us. the man who wanted to become a filmmaker. You can tell he's like, I wanted to make it in Hollywood. No one liked his scripts and his story and his ideas. He's like, fuck it, I'll go to video games then. And then they made, as you said, Jaded, long interactive movies that aren't games.
You mean the same guy that did Final Fantasy 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13?
Well, you can say what you want about the cutscenes, but at least there's gameplay in that game, in those games. You know what I mean? Like,
go to this area and then follow this rail.
Well, I meant the turn-based. See, that's why I like that they have now that a lot of the Final Fantasy's gone away from turn-based, because now there's far more gameplay. And they integrate the cutscenes in the gameplay now and the storytelling because they have the technology to do it. Whereas, like, you look at our old stuff, it's like, yeah, it's a little dated because the dialogue would show up and like they would smash huge hour-long dialogues and cutscenes in the scroll text for you to read before you could even move. Then you would go and explore, and then you would get into a fight. The fights were always the best part, but now the new Final Fantasies know how to integrate the storytelling and the character integration and talk in the fight.
They got rid of the exposition dump.
Yeah, the exposition dump. Well, and unless you're Kingdom Hearts, where they somehow still spill exposition dumps and change the lore and confuse the story with the game.
Oh, and
so bad.
I hate the Final Fantasy games. I hate JRPGs.
Really? You know, Jaded, I think the one that you would like, if any of them were to change your mind, is Final Fantasy 15. It's the only one that I think Americanizes the property well enough to get rid of a lot of the bullshit exposition and confusion.
It's the combat. I don't like.
No, 15.
You don't like the turn based, right?
No. I love turn based.
Okay.
I'm used to the Western turn based.
Okay.
I do not like the JRPG turn based combat.
Okay. Well, the nice thing about 15 is it's instant combat, so you have to hit buttons and block, and like it's all there. It's like all direct combat. It's one of the first that they like, kind of like Kingdom Hearts. It's one of the first where they essentially said, we're going to stop doing the turn-based stuff, and in 15 we're going to focus on actual immediate combat where you have to perform combos and flip through your inventory and stuff like that.
I like the turn-based where it's your guys on the grid.
Yeah.
On the grid. You have to spend, combat actions, moving, and then being able to attack, and then I like turn-based where it's literally a chess game.
Right. I agree. I know what you mean by that. There's some franchises that actually do that really well.
JRPGs,
literally going.
Your guys are on this side. The other guys are on this side. He attacks. He attacks. He attacks.
Right.
He attacks,
I see what you mean. Champ, you can't say you don't like that because you do that with Pokemon, except it's literally, instead of having multiple opponents, you always only have one, which is what makes it Pokemon lame.
You're just chain reacting.
Which is why you don't like chess and why your brain capacity is 0.
No, I play chess. I mean, I play chess.
Okay.
I mean, I just can't remember all the moves. I literally have, if I were to get me a chessboard, it would have to be that beginner's chessboard where it shows on the pieces, like, oh, this piece can move this way, this piece can
did you hit your head? Did I hit your head far too much for you to remember your moves now? Did I do?
No.
Oh, God, that movie. I hate that movie.
It did not pull up on my end.
Dude, I have so many clips of Champ and John's face integrated over Harry and Marv because they're literally like Harry and Marv. But on that note, guys, we had 2 hours and 8 minutes. There's supposed to be a short stream. It was fun though. We had a blast. We'll probably get on here and do some interesting entertainment
We got off of
topics.
that
Yeah.
Brodan retard.
Well, we got off top. I can say we got off topic, but we concluded the topic, so it's done.
Yeah,
You do what he
I
wants
mean,
with it. So thanks, Frank, for jumping on, and everybody coming in chat.
Jaded, it was actually good being on stream with you for once.
He finally got. We'll get Jaded in here when we have like a whole shindig. I know Pickle's got a Halloween stream he wants to do, so I guess we won't be doing ours, but we're going to be doing that New Year's annual roasting stream, and I can't wait for the roast. The roast is going to be big.
Too bad we're not going to do a thing for Halloween for our channel, because I would love to do the Evil Dead game.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can do our own streaming. I've got Gotham Knights to stream here in a few days, and a bunch of stuff to do. So I'm not going to have any time, and I got a review to put up. So
speaking of Gotham Knights, when we get done, I need to see about something.
Okay, thanks for All right, so I had a great time, guys. I'm glad you all joined. Sean, thanks for coming on. Jaded, as always, thanks for jumping on. Chant. Thank you so much. And like I said, we will jump on some other time. I will see you all later. We're going to end on an awkward note before we end this stream. And as usual, I got to play my favorite.
Or you could do all the work while we skim money off the top and take advantage of your hard work ethic.
And milk your tits. Man milk goes for a lot these days on the Chinese black market. It's a little side gig I want to get into. This motherfucker looks like he's filled with man milk.
Is any of that true?
Probably. You gotta be the one to tell him to take his pants off, though.
Why would he have to take his pants off to milk his tits?
I mean his shirt.
Hey, you double trigger. You may love awkward silence. I'm more into sexual tension, but to each his own. Joker, you're muted.
My bad. I said, there you go. You can't get any more awkward than sexual tension from Red Letter Media. God knows there's plenty of it. Mr. Wheezy over here sounding like the Toy Story penguin. And on that note, guys,
the prospector from the second movie, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. No, I think they're both technically wheezy old gets, but we will see you all later. Thanks for jumping on, and I'll see you next time.
Toodaloo. Peace, bitches.
Anytime.
Wait, in that streaming.